Rand Paul attacked the Democratic primary field in a Fox News interview in a very ironic way.
So on the Democrat side, Lincoln Chafee dropped out of the race late last week. That leaves the Democrats with a socialist, feel the burn Bernie, and someone who you could possibly say is a corruptocrat.
Well, when Biden decided not to get in the race, we said it left him with the choice between socialism and corruption. And I think there's some truth to that. I think the Clintons feel like they are above the law and they can do anything they want. And I think there's still some really important questions that Hillary Clinton's going to have to answer. Number one, why was Bill Clinton making money from entities that were negotiating things that you had to approve of? A uranium company was sold to the Russian government. Hillary Clinton had to approve of it. Bill Clinton made nearly $1 million giving a speech to the bank that was brokering the deal. Same way with an electronics manufacturer that was trying to sell stuff in Iran. Had to be approved by Hillary Clinton. And sure enough, Bill Clinton got $750,000 giving a speech to that same electronics manufacturer. This is all in Schweitzer's book.
So at the beginning there, they say, the Democratic race is down to socialism or corruption. To which I respond, the Republican race is between corruption and corruption. Or to go further here, corruption, 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 and a pseudo-dictatorship clown. That would be Donald Trump. No, I mean, it's hilarious to hear people running on the Republican side launch attacks against the Democrats as if the Democratic field is weak. I mean, I've literally laughed out loud at the people running on the Republican side. And actually, to be fair, Rand Paul is probably the most sane of all of them. But, I mean, look at everybody else there. You have a fucking reality TV star who's the embodiment, the caricature of the dumb capitalist American. Like, just incredibly arrogant, overestimates his own abilities, thinks he's super smart when he's not. And then you have the neurosurgeon who somehow believes evolution is a hoax and believes the world is 6,000 years old. The self-hating black man. And then you go down the list, you have Carly Fiorina, the woman who hates women, who had a horrible career as a CEO, but she touts her career as a CEO as if she was a success. You have Marco Rubio, the best example of an empty suit I've ever seen. He might as well have the Koch brothers' hand up his anus controlling his mouth because he's a sock puppet and nothing else. I mean, Mr., can't keep it together for a split second, gotta... Sorry, I had to sip my water. Jokes, Mike Huckabee, the theocrat. Yeah, there you go. So it's not even just down to, on the Republican side, corruption versus corruption. It's corruption versus theocracy versus pseudo-dictatorship versus reality star. And there's nothing good there. Now, I'm willing to concede that Hillary Clinton, indeed, I would say, is corrupt. For sure, and there's plenty of things that prove that. We've discussed how Elizabeth Warren lobbied her back before she was in Congress, where she would say, you can't vote for this bill, this bankruptcy bill, because it favors the corporations. Hillary Clinton said, oh, no, you're right, I wouldn't do that. And she didn't then, but then like a year later she did. And the list goes on and on. It is true that the Clinton Foundation, they take money from all these different world governments and all these corporations, and they do return favors. We've covered the stories on the show. That's certainly true. So, but the idea that, people on the Republican side are not as corrupt as Hillary Clinton, at least? Oh, spare me! Everybody on that side is corrupt. Everybody on that side. I have this saying I often use on the show, where I say, right, the Democrats are 80% corrupt, but the Republicans are 100% corrupt. I mean, that's in a nutshell. Obviously, those numbers are made up, but there's truth in that, because when you look at the record of all the elected Republicans, that's the case. You hardly ever see them vote against, the people who were giving them campaign contributions, save maybe Rand Paul's dad back when he was there, Ron Paul. So it just stop. And it's not even just socialism. Again, and this is why I did segments where I told Bernie, don't say that. Don't just say I'm a socialist, because then the right wing is going to launch attacks against you either way. But what you're saying is not actually true, because you're not really a socialist. Now, he likes to say democratic socialism. I still don't like that term. Say social democrat, because that's really what he is. And it's a more nuanced position, and it would kneecap some of the arguments coming from the right against you. But that's the point, is that on the left, you do have Hillary Clinton, who's pretty corrupt, but at least she's decent on social issues. And then you have Bernie Sanders, who's a social democrat, who wants to make the U.S. look more like Scandinavia, which makes sense. But then on the Republican side, you have all sellouts and some theocrats and some pseudo-dictators who want to pretend like the Supreme Court doesn't exist and they can override it based on their whims. Between the two sides, there's no question which one makes more sense, and Rand has no clue what the fuck he's talking about here when he lambasts the Democrats as if they're the ones who are a joke. No, Rand, your side is a joke.